Let's start with a truth that most people never fully recover from hearing. You are not ordinary because you lack talent. You are not ordinary because you lack intelligence. You are not ordinary because the world is unfair. You are ordinary because you live the way you were trained to live. Here's the question that should hit your ego, quietly but deeply. If you keep living exactly the way you live now, what evidence do you have that your life will ever become extraordinary? Nietzsche believed something radical, uncomfortable, and deeply offensive to comfortable people. Most humans do not fail at life. They simply never attempt to become anything more than socially acceptable. And acceptance, when chosen over authenticity, slowly destroys the soul. Not dramatically, not loudly, but quietly. Let me stop you here for a moment. Extraordinary people are not braver than you by nature. They are not more confident at the start. They are not immune to fear. They are simply willing to endure what ordinary people spend their lives avoiding. And once you understand that, the entire myth of greatness collapses. Here is the truth that Nietzsche understood, and most people never forgive him for saying, most people do not truly want to be extraordinary. They want the rewards of extraordinariness without the cost. They want admiration without isolation, freedom without responsibility, meaning without risk. But an extraordinary life demands solitude, uncertainty, rejection, self-confrontation. And the human nervous system is wired to avoid all of that. So instead, people choose comfort, even when that comfort slowly drains their vitality. Nietzsche called this state the herd, not as an insult, but as a diagnosis. The herd chooses safety over truth. So here's the question that actually matters. If the herd life feels safe but empty, what does it really take to rise above it? Nietzsche's answer was not motivation. It was transformation. Nietzsche rejected the idea that life comes with a predefined meaning. No divine blueprint, no universal purpose, no external authority that can tell you who you are supposed to become. For many people, this feels terrifying. But Nietzsche saw it as liberation. If meaning is not given, it must be created. This is the foundation of existentialism. You are not here to discover who you are. You are here to become who you are. And becoming is painful because it requires destruction. Most people live reactively. They react to expectations, social pressure, fear of rejection, fear of failure. They choose careers they tolerate, relationships that feel safe, beliefs that won't isolate them. This creates a life that functions but never ignites. Nietzsche believed this was a form of spiritual exhaustion, not misery, just numbness, a life lived at half intensity. Psychologically, this produces what we now call the false self. The false self is not dishonest. It is adapted. It learned how to survive. It learned how to belong. It learned how to avoid punishment, but it never learned how to expand. The false self asks, what will keep me safe? The real self asks, what will make me strong, alive, and whole? Extraordinary people choose the second question, even when it costs them. Here's the wake-up slap Nietzsche would give you today. If your life feels comfortable but empty, that's not success. That's fear wearing the costume of stability. Nietzsche described the journey from ordinary to extraordinary as three transformations, not stages of age, stages of existence. 1. The camel. Endurance. The camel carries weight, duties, rules, expectations. You must. You should. This stage builds discipline and resilience. But if you stay here too long, endurance becomes identity. You begin to confuse suffering with meaning. Most people die in this stage, obedient and exhausted. 2. The lion rebellion. The lion says no. No to inherited values. No to suffocating expectations. No to borrowed identities. This stage feels powerful. But rebellion alone is not extraordinariness. It is still reactive. The lion destroys, but does not yet create. Many people get stuck here, angry and cynical, mistaking resistance for purpose. 3. The child creation. The final transformation is the child. The child creates values, not because they were inherited, not because they were approved, but because they are true. This is the extraordinary human, self-authored, playful, intense, not controlled by fear of judgment. Extraordinary people are rare because the cost is high. You lose easy approval, familiar roles, predictable praise. Nietzsche understood this deeply. That's why he wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. Your courage exposes others' fear, and that makes people uncomfortable." Existentialism says something brutal. You are free right now, not later, not when circumstances change. And freedom means responsibility, no excuses, no one to blame, no system to hide behind. Extraordinary people accept this weight. Ordinary people avoid it. Nietzsche's will to power was not domination. It was self-overcoming, the drive to grow beyond your previous limits. Extraordinary people are not obsessed with controlling others. They are obsessed with not stagnating. Comfort is the enemy of this process. Nietzsche did not glorify suffering. He believed meaningless suffering destroys people, but suffering with purpose transforms them. Extraordinary people don't ask, "How do I avoid pain?" They ask, "What pain is worth enduring?" Nietzsche proposed a terrifying thought experiment. Imagine living your life again, every decision, every fear, every compromise, over and over. Would you say yes? If not, what are you postponing? Modern society optimizes for efficiency, comfort, predictability. Extraordinary life demands intensity, uncertainty, courage. This is why so many people feel numb. Their lives are optimized for survival, not significance. Here is one simple habit Nietzsche would demand from you. Every day, choose one action that strengthens your becoming, not what maintains comfort, not what pleases others, what expands you. Identity follows action. No one will warn you that you are wasting your life. There is no alarm. You either choose intensity or drift into normality. Nietzsche believed normality was the real tragedy. If this challenged you, that's a sign you're capable of more. If you want more existential philosophy, psychology, and ideas that push you beyond the ordinary, subscribe to the channel. And remember, you were not born to be average. You were born to become.